What you're gonna ask, but I'm just there like, hi guys, hello.
Okay. How did you get interested in architecture?
I feel like for me, growing up with like my entire family that didn't speak English, like was not their first language, my world became so much more visual. And I always loved walking. Like anywhere I would go, I just never wanted to be at home because it was always so cramped. If I'd walk down the street, I'd go check out that street, see that building behind there, look behind there, where's that courtyard, where's that leading to? And so for me, it was always like, I felt more comfort being in like the public realm and like always kind of exploring and going about. I always loved drawing and obviously kind of goes hand in hand, but it was kind of like accidental, like, oh, I love to like draw what I see and see what I do and like my interpretation of it. So it was kind of like, I find just comfort in just always like being on my own, headphones on, good album on, and always walking about and discovering where I am.
That's really cool.
Oh, thank you.
Where did you do your undergrad?
I did my undergrad back in Sydney in Australia, so in University of Technology Sydney, called UTS. A bit chaotic, obviously, first year being 2020, so you had like, I think we started off with like 80 students and it dropped to 50 or 40 within the first year because so many people were like, oh, I don't want to do this. And it was, yeah, quite chaotic because technically half of my degree, like everybody else, was online.
Yeah.
So there was so many like fundamentals of like, oh, I wanted to like get into this workshop, wood making, this and that, and it just kind of never happened to be.
I feel like that's such an interesting thing because even for me, I would say the same. Like, I would blame my lack of model making skills on the fact that for like the first 2 years of uni, we just didn't have access to anything.
Literally.
And by the time we had access to it, we were pretty much done.
Yeah.
So,
I remember when I got into my third year and we were supposed to be making like quite big models in our group projects for our capstone projects.
Yeah.
And we saw like the first year students, they had like beautiful drawings and models. And I'm like, these guys had the resources and we're there like, you know, we have to give the excuse to the tutor every time, oh, we're from COVID or we didn't really know this. I've drawn my house like 500 times for 500 different assessments. I know it pretty damn well at this point.
Would you say you're good with time management?
If I'm motivated, yeah. I mean, if I've got like a really good motivation with time management, if I'm like, oh yeah, I can really do this, or I have like passion behind it 100%. But I feel like that shouldn't be a factor for it. I feel like especially because I'm balancing like working part-time on weekend. I'm here like from Monday to Wednesday and then whatever's needed afterwards. That's when the chaos ensues, when it's all busy.
Yeah.
So I'd like to say to an extent, but most of the time it's like, oh shit, I have something on, or I have to keep a diary, or I have to like write so many notes on my phone to the point then I'm losing that.
How will we get through a creative block?
Usually, if I've got like a bit of a creative block, honestly, like I feel like it's kind of cheesy to say go for a walk, but like kind of do something that like breaks like my routine, whether it's like go to a bar or not saying go drink, but you never know. Like go to a bar or like kind of do something out of your element. Be like, oh, you wanted to check out maybe this place or somewhere to go for a while. Why not do it? Have fun with it.
Just stop looking at the buildings.
Yeah, exactly. Like whether it's drawing or maybe like music or even just calling my mom's quite nice. Love a good chat with my mom.
Is there anything else you do that isn't architecture related?
One of the major like accidental like passions I had during my undergrad was I really got into bartending during my undergrad. So I started working as a bartender like during my second year of my undergrad. Then when I graduated, I did like full-time working in cocktail bars. I was a supervisor at a nightclub at one point. And I really love this space where people can just like forget that they're all strangers and they're all friends under the same roof. Whether it's like, you know, they all be like, oh my God, I love your fit or something like that. There's that awkwardness that's sort of removed away and everyone's just sort of like much more open. I don't know if it's after a few tequila shots, but like to me, like I currently still like work at a bar down in South Bank. And I just love like seeing people feel like they get out of their comfort zone and they have just a chat with a stranger, not necessarily so transactional, but like be like, how are you? Like, what are you up to? What's your life? Like, what's your story? And I kind of love that for me. So that's one of the things I like to do outside architecture. Honestly, like photography is another big thing that's coming up in my life, especially with a broken phone like mine. It's hard. I love to capture everything I see, even if it's just like random videos of like someone just playing something on the street or walking. I kind of have fun with it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool.
You mentioned that you did your undergrad in Sydney, so that means you're an international student.
Yes, I am.
How's it been, the switch from Australia to good old London?
Girl, it's been chaotic. Like, honestly, people are like, oh, but like, you're from Australia, it means it was so much easier for you to like move here. And I said, you're moving from like the southern to the northern hemisphere. Like, there's a reason it was like a 26 hour flight here. The moving here was always like crazy because it was like gearing up to be like, oh my God, I'm really moving to London. You know, doing the little things like, you know, sell all my clothes, find a place to live. Don't really know London that well.
Yeah.
And then obviously like the first 2 months was like, kind of like, it was a struggle, but it was like, oh, okay, this is all new. Like, I don't really know the city. It's kind of discovering. Like, okay, I'm now somewhere in King's Cross. How do I get home from here?
Yeah.
Where am I? Or like, I remember there's been times where it's like, okay, I need to, for unit 1, where it's like, okay, we need to go get art. Where do I go get art supplies? Where do I get all this stuff? So you kind of like search online. I've gone so far as Reddit being like, help, where do you get this from? Where do you get that from? Where to eat? I don't know. But it's getting like, what, 6-7 months in? It's getting a little bit easier, which I really like, but it's still as you learn as you go.
Do you have any advice for anyone who's like going to become an international student anytime soon?
I say be open to options. Like, don't feel as thinking, oh, well, I'm not living here, or I need to do it this way or that way. Just be open that it's a very different city and it may not be as you expected, but that's okay. Because you have that experience to say, like, even if you don't like it, you have the experience to say, well, I went through it.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the most valuable like journey you can get out of your life. I'm not saying like, you know, don't be an international student and be like, oh, I'm gonna be an expectation, I'm gonna move to London. That's not it. It's like a different journey in your life, a different period, or there's like a different like sense of your identity evolving, and that's when you should just have fun with it.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, I don't know what this is, never tried it, let's have fun with it. Kind of like why I like London as like a very weird, dynamic, kind of crazy city.
How are you finding it, Susan?
It's very different from obviously BAs is like for everyone else.
Yeah.
But it's very cool. It's just like a community of like-minded people, especially for the fact that like you really can go into different workshops and different realms of like how you want to approach, for example, architecture. Like, it doesn't need to be, I'm going to now export this drawing from Rhino and take it into Illustrator and that's it. They very much push that realm of like, well, how do you interpret it? Create whatever it was, like an artifact or something solid, or maybe photography, or write about it, or, you know, sing about it, or whatever people do, and they foster that space for it.
Yeah.
So obviously, like, I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. And then it's like, you have the options now. It's like, oh my God, what do I do?
Yeah, exactly.
Then it becomes very overwhelming at first. But I think I'm slowly like adjusting to it, being like, oh yeah, you can go in here. And for example, this unit, I'm really trying to push myself to get good with model making.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that there's that like space that allows me to be like, oh, explore this, explore that. You want to rent a sewing machine in the workshop? You want to rent this? Go for it. I'm not going to question it. Maybe question it.
What's your unpopular opinion in architecture?
Sometimes being simple is okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to like not say like, oh, I'm going to do like this crazy, insane project. It's okay to be like, maybe I just want to do like something that's like easy to approach, something that's not too overcomplicated with concepts and theories and all that stuff. It's okay to be like, girl, I just want like a nice house with like some nice beige walls or whatever, something pink and pretty. But I feel like there's like this community in architecture that wants to be like the next prodigies or kind of like that, where they want to be like, yeah, it's this super insane urban typology that goes like,
so complex.
It needs to be complex. It's got this, it's got that, and I'm like, just take a seat, girl. Like, it's okay. It does not need to be that way. Simplicity for me, there's nothing wrong with it. You shouldn't, or like minimalist rather, like there's nothing wrong in saying like, I'm gonna like keep it easy, chill. Yeah, CSM is definitely like a very different school. Like, explaining to my friends like, you're going to an arts uni but for architecture, and they're like, I don't understand. I was like, neither do I, but we're here now. And they're like, and you know, you obviously like, you have people that are like, oh, what's your assessments, what's they like? And then you explain to them like what you're doing, and they're like, that's not conventional, that's not like, I don't think that's architecture. Did you sign up for the right degree? I got here somehow. And I think it's fun when people are like, oh, I've never thought of it that way. Well, that's actually a really cool approach to like the bio-design projects, or
Yeah.
like when we did the Fourth Fountain Studio. I'm like, yeah, it's different, but that's kind of like it's frustratingly fun,
Yeah.
and I really like it.
Yeah. I feel like it's definitely the kind of thing where it's up to you to decide how it's going to be, because I guess at BA it's very conventional with the outputs. And
Exactly.
now you have this like empty box, and it's almost daunting trying to define who you are within this box.
Yeah, and I think that's what's really frustrating, because as much as you wanted it in BA to be like, oh, I want to try this idea, that idea.
Yeah.
And I remember my first year, everything was already like immediately shut down. And it was like, oh, fuck, I really wish I could have done this. So you come to CSM and they're like, yeah, do what you want. And you're like, wait, I don't understand. This is weird. But I'm low-key loving it. Oh, thank you guys. But yeah, explaining to I think it's like perception of, oh, an arts uni, like, how is that gonna benefit you? And I say, like, I've always looked at architecture as like a form of art, which is
insane.
Like, I will never forget, I remember, I think it was like my third year or something in my BA, I had a tutor asked, she kind of went around the classroom and asked everyone like, oh, why are you studying architecture? And a lot of people said, oh, well, I heard it's just a job that pays really well. Or like they said like, well, my dad is a project manager and he said like I should do architecture because then I had a job lined up with him.
Yeah.
And like you can then kind of feel it when they do, I don't know, when they do their degree and there's no like passion or curiosity behind it.
Yeah.
It's just very much boring.
Yeah.
And I think I said to you, like I kind of look at it as a form of art. It may be a very different structural one where it's such an open field where you can like, write about it, you can photograph about it, you can draw about it. You might be like quite traditional, go to the studio and do practice, but you can radicalize it. That's like half the fun of it.
Yeah.
It's such a weird evolving medium that it's not as simple as like a box.
Yeah. You think buildings are boring? Like,
They can be boring.
like the buildings out there right now being built.
Being built?
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't know. It's also like it depends where you are. Like
That's
in
true.
London, it's some of it I've seen. I'm just like, really,
That's all you could do.
really. Give the money to me. I'll do something fun with it. And then you see them like either they build them so fast because there's like a demand for like housing, and it's like literally like I've just copy and pasted it in one like suburb to another.
Yeah.
What's the difference? Or it's for example back in Sydney, it's such a huge issue of like, oh yeah, we're gonna build things up really quickly. We need a casino here and 1,000 apartment blocks because we just have no space. And it's like, and then next 6 months everyone needs to be evacuated because there's some cracks in the ceiling. Or in the windows because they built it so fast to the point that no one questioned it. I feel like I feel like there's a lot of small scale interventions that's quite interesting as well.
Yeah.
Especially from like pavilions or like small housing units or kind of like community innovations, things like gardens, kind of like warehouse refitting. Stuff that's like you would never necessarily think, oh well, I'm just gonna build a building block here because I like it and I say so. But like some streets I've walked in, I was like, damn, that's all we got. It's also, I feel like even if it's a boring building, it's always the people that make it. Because at the end of the day, like it's not just it could be an empty plot, which would be sad. We want people to always feel like they make the space for their own. It could be shitty, but then they can, I don't know, maybe put some fairy lights in it. Next thing you know, fuck, this is where I want to be right now.